Hello and welcome to We Review Stuff, the podcast where, and this might shock you, we review stuff. I'm Anula Vivatovska, and today I am joined by our solid 4.5-star team from Reviews.org. First up, it is the connoisseur of lunch sandwiches, Fergus Burgers Halliday. How is the week snacking up so far, Fergus?
It's had ups and downs. I had a nice, tuna salad sandwich for lunch. I don't know what this sandwich bit is about. I feel maybe a little bullied, but it's going all right.
All right, great. Well, next up, please welcome the man who makes the word bro non-derogatory, Brodie Fogg. Brodie, how would you rate bro culture?
Bro culture, big fan. I'm a big fan of toxic masculinity. I give it a solid 4.7 out of 5.
Great. You are bringing our star rating for the team down immediately. So let's move on.
So he is the half star.
He is the half star. Next up, let's everyone make some noise for Alex. The C is silent, but I'm not. Horosh. Alex, how are you going today?
It's true. I can be very loud.
That is true. And finally, let's welcome the least basic human with the most basic name, Adam Smith. Adam, how's your day going?
It's going pretty good. I do have 2 small humans running around my house and giggling at the moment.
Not kids, by the way.
No, not
Adam
kids.
just collects
just
small people.
Yeah, just small humans. I honestly don't know how they got in here. If you've seen Mulholland Drive, it's kind of like that scene, where the 2 old people menacingly advance on Naomi Watts. It's one of those things that's happening.
Do we need to call 000?
You know what? I want to see how it pans out first.
Yeah, great.
This could be a really interesting episode.
Yeah. Give them a chance. Don't just write them off.
I'm sure they're lovely. Short people are people too.
Not according to Randy Newman, but we'll move on.
I feel like this intro started weird and it just kept going.
That was the plan. Let's get weird, folks. That's what we're here for. All right. Well, I want to welcome everyone to the inaugural episode of We Review Stuff. Every episode, we will review 3 things and decide where they belong in our definitive list called The List. Every week, we will add new stuff to our list and then argue over where they fall in the rankings. Ferg, Alex, and Brodie are our reviewers today. Gentlemen, what are we reviewing? Ferg, you're up.
I am reviewing the Playdate handheld gaming console.
Oh, that's exciting. All right, Alex, what are you going to be talking about today?
A very specific part of a specific phone.
Mysterious. And Brodie, what are you up to?
I'll be reviewing the best cheeseburger you can buy for below $3 in Australia.
Ah, that is exciting. Okay. All right. Well, let's get started. Ferg, you are up first. Let's kick off our first review.
Yeah, sure. So, before we jump into the product, I want to provide you with a story, some rich context to the tapestry that is my life. So I play a lot of mobile video games, but my phone is kind of like an everything device. It's just everything happens to kind of include games. And sometimes that's good. There are some games that work really well on the phone, but sometimes you want, hardware that's a bit more specialized, and kind of gives you that more bespoke, dedicated, fit for purpose kind of experience. I think that's why I like the Nintendo Switch for games. And that's, what attracted me to the Playdate, which is this little handheld gaming console, produced by a company called Panic.
So what makes the Playdate different?
A couple things. So first of all, it's got it's tiny. It costs less than $200 US. It's sort of the visual for it, for those listening on the podcast, is it's sort of like a Game Boy that's been squished down from a rectangular form factor to a more square shape. It's got usual buttons. It's got your D-pad. It's got this cute little black and white screen that's got like an absurdly small number of pixels on it. It's like 400 by 240. It sort of looks like e-ink. There's a headphone jack. It's got like a whopping 4 gigabytes of storage on it. Most importantly, it's got this cute little crank on the side, which you can flip out and spin to do things.
Crank that, Soldier Boy.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And can't the crank also be used to power it?
from what I understand, I haven't seen a teardown of this product yet, but from what I understand, it does have a more conventional battery in it. You can crank it and feel like you're making it do things though, which is kind of what's the difference really? It's all about perception of reality. I will say with the crank, one of the things that's interesting about it is you would expect it to be like more resistance or friction when you're sort of spinning it, almost like a fidget spinner, but it's actually got like no resistance. You can kind of crank it as fast as humanly possible.
I gotta say that bothers me.
Yeah, I didn't love it.
Yeah, a little bit of friction while you're cranking it would be good.
So how do the games use for crank?
Thank you, Alex. We're going down a very dangerous road there.
There's lots of different ways, right? So first of all, you can use the crank to navigate the menus, even if you want. It's fun to do it a couple times, but then I quickly found myself going back to the buttons just because I could really spam the buttons and just do stuff a whole lot faster. In terms of the games themselves, there's lots of different ones. When you buy a Playdate, you get a season of games. I think it's just called Season 1. And basically, the way it works out is that you get 2 new games every week for, I believe, 12 weeks. So 24 games in total. And so every week you turn on your device and 2 new games just appear in your little library and you just get to find out what they are. There's lots of different ones. There's like a surfing one. There's a super corporate tax evader. There's one where you play as a dog who has to recommend people for jobs. So you have to like turn the crank to flip through a Rolodex to find people who meet the requirements of the job you're trying to fill.
I need to know how the tax evasion game works in reference to the crank. Are you just cranking through your money?
No, paper shredding.
That's a great mechanic.
Oh, yeah, that's wicked.
I kind of grew up in the era of Atari. And one of the things that I love about Atari is how disposable the games were. That like if you had a decent game library on Atari, I think the average time you put into a game was about 3.5 minutes. And then you'd be like, this tires me. I want to play something else. And the entire time you're having fun, but it never felt like there's not a rich story or well-developed characters. It's just like, here's a weird orange guy on some cubes, jump.
Yeah, no, totally.
Exactly. Like, is this a similar experience with the kind of nice, like, casual gaming feel?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, I think there is a degree to which this is kind of like a toy and a novelty device, but there is something really compelling to it, more than just like nostalgia for just those kinds of games or the Game Boy experience specifically. It kind of speaks to a fondness for the way the games used to be. It's like you said, it's not a high fidelity experience. It's just kind of like, hey, someone made a little thing. Will you give them $2 or get it through the season's pass and just try it and see what it's like? And sometimes you'll be like, haha, all right, that was a fun 5 minutes. And then other times, for example, one game I have is called The Joke That's Worth 99 Cents. And it's this game where there's sort of a baby that sort of falls from the sky, and then when you turn the crank, it turns the crank on a visual, like a digital version of the Playdate, and you've got to sort of bounce the baby on the crank to sort of keep them in the air with real-time physics in order to hear the entire joke. And if you drop the baby and it falls off the screen, the joke ends, the game resets, you got to start again, and the joke goes back to the beginning. And I have spent literally hours attempting to hear the joke that is worth 99 cents unsuccessfully.
So like, can like anyone make games for this?
Yeah, there's a whole it's very open and accessible to developers. There's like a public SDK. There's like a tool set for people to even build basic experiences if you don't have coding expertise. Like I said, apart from the seasons side of it, I believe there's some sort of back-end deal where developers are paid some amount to have their game added to the season. There's also the digital store where people sell stuff. Games are usually between like, I don't know, $2 and $7 on average, I feel like. And that kind of, like you said, gives it that almost disposable thing of like, yeah, all right, this looks kind of funny. Like there's one version, a game on here, which is like a weird version of Snake called Snoik. And I was like, that's pretty funny. I'll give you $6 to see what that's about.
Hey, Ferg. So one question I have about the Playdate is that, like, having no backlight on the screen sure is a throwback, but we put backlights in for pretty good reason. How does it go, like, in daylight? With no, like, natural light?
It can sometimes be a challenge, I would say. You are correct. We did put backlights in things for a reason. Actually, going through my notes for this ahead of the podcast, I actually had this thought where it's like, I do love that this is so thrifty and cheap and uses all these old school components in really cool and creative ways. But I would have paid like an extra $100 for a Playdate Pro with like a nicer screen and maybe some nicer speakers. I would have done it.
Oh, you're defeating the purpose now. You need to have like a headlamp specifically for when you're in the car and you're playing while your parents are driving. That's literally the only way to do it, by the way.
I have fond memories of like probably wrecking my eyesight sitting in the backseat of a car with a Game Boy as the sun dipped below the horizon and just like leaning closer and closer and closer to it.
I am 100% there with you, Adam. I used to try and play Pokemon by the light of the streetlights as we were going past them. So it would be like real speed run of like, quick, get where I need to go. And then it was all over so quickly.
The other thing I will shout out is just like the hardware is obviously very cute. But I think the software is like exquisite. It's some of the most delicious software I have like ever had the joy of experiencing. There's like a little animation and sound and flourish to like every little detail. Like when it's in sleep mode, you see this little clock, but then when you turn it on, you see like two little eyes as it like comes to life.
Right.
When you're scrolling through your library, you're sort of like cranking through them. All the games you haven't played are like tied up in ribbons. You hit a button and it sort of unpacks it in front of you. It's gorgeous.
That's
and just so cute. The website says that Panic made this for fun, and I 100% believe them. It is so fun to use.
See, to me, this just shows that you shouldn't discount things just because they're small. So you guys are wrong about those weird little people running around my house.
One other downside I will just throw in before we wrap up on this review is just that I bought this and it was sort of like a Christmas present to myself, but I will say that I did wait a very long time for it. I put my order in July 2021 and I did not get my order until July 2023. That's like a long time to wait for even it's a lovely device, but I would say that if you're looking to buy one, I would flag that you may be waiting quite some time because there is a bit of a backfill.
So that was going to be my question. Are they still like...
Yeah, I believe you can still put in orders. They are sending them out in waves, though, so there'd be a bit of...
So you'll still be waiting a long time.
Potentially,
order now. Okay.
And like the original estimate for when I thought I would be getting my order was significantly later.
All right, Ferg. Well, on that note, what are you rating the Playdate?
I'm just going to say that my rating for this is crank it.
Crank it. Fantastic. All right. Moving on. All right. Alex is doing our next review. And I believe you hinted to some kind of charging port?
That's true. I'm reviewing the iPhone 15 Pro's USB-C port. And, this wasn't Apple's decision. The EU forced Apple to ditch Lightning for USB-C. And thank God, it dramatically changes the iPhone experience. I was able to plug my guitar into my iPhone and have it pick up in GarageBand as an input. I was like, hey, using an old Rocksmith cable from a 2005 video game. It's just like, this is like what open standards are for. It's just like you plug things in and they work. And it's just like, why did it take this long?
I absolutely love that we're all praising Apple, not just us. Everyone is praising Apple for the fact that they didn't mess up the USB-C. They did the absolute bare minimum. And they just took their old cords from outside of like iPad boxes and they're like, here, take this. And we're like, yes, thank you, Lord and Savior Tim Cook.
I mean, in fairness, the standard models have like shitty USB-C 2.0. Like they didn't even give them the fancy ports there. They could have spent a little bit more.
No, that was on purpose.
And Cook personally spit in each USB-C port as they went out of the factory. So
naturally.
And there is you still get the USB 2-speed cord in the iPhone 15 Pro box. So if you want to use the maximum USB speeds possible, you need to go buy another cable.
Yeah.
All right, there's the Apple because that's the immediate upsell.
Mm-hmm. I'm hearing some room for improvement here is what I'm hearing.
Oh yeah, it's just like, give people who buy a $2,000 phone the good cable.
Yeah,
It's just
absolutely.
like it's a very
Yeah.
expensive phone. So you can give them a cable that goes at 10 gigabits per second. It's not going to cost you that much more.
Think about the margin, though, Alex. That's all they're thinking about.
Now dumb it down, Alex, and tell me what can you do and what can't you do with the cable in the box.
So like so far, just like with the in-the-box cable, I've connected, well, I haven't connected my guitar. I used a different cable to do that. But I did manage to connect a MIDI keyboard straight to my iPhone using the in-the-box cable because my keyboard's got USB-C as well. I've connected the camera directly to the iPhone, and you can open up Lightroom and import photos straight from the camera into your iPhone without needing to use a weird dongle or an SD card reader or a shitty wireless app that tries to transfer things to your phone but uses Bluetooth, so it just kind of dies after 8 seconds.
That's actually really neat.
You can like plug in external drives and move things over to your iPhone. One thing I would really like to see is like because most of us back up straight to iCloud. If you plug in like an SSD into your iPhone, it'd be really cool if it could just like back up your iPhone to that SSD and then restore a new iPhone from your SSD backup rather than having to download about 300 gigabytes of photos from iCloud like I just did last week.
Yep. That's a great use case.
But again, like it seems like really versatile. You can even like plug your iPhone into a TV and like open up an iPhone game, pair a PlayStation 5 controller, Xbox controller, and like play Sonic on your TV for your iPhone. Resident Evil is coming to iPhone at the end of October, and like I tried a demo of it. And it looks incredible for a phone game, and you'll just be able to like use an iPhone as a console.
Now, I'm one of those weirdos who's an Android user. What I'm hearing,
What? Whoa! Hold on. Why are we just painting as all those weirdos? Just 'cause I feel attacked.
what I'm hearing is I could have been doing this stuff with my phone the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of it. Android doesn't really have many music applications because the Android
I don't have much musical talent, so that's a perfect marriage.
perfect. But unfortunately, there are just very few bits of music software on Android because since there's like so many different variations of Android devices, most like companies who make software instruments find it too hard because like the audio stack's slightly different on every phone. Whereas, there's a limited number of iPhones, so the companies can just optimize. And so that's just like definitely one tick iPhone has for creative types, I guess.
But specifically the USB-C on iPhone.
Exactly.
That is a tick for the USB-C. Got it.
Out of curiosity, how many USB-C cables do we think we each own?
That is
Ballpark.
Oh my god. I found 3 in my backpack when I was setting up. I didn't know that they were there.
Yeah, it's in the dozens.
In the thousands?
Dozens.
Easily. It's not the cables that's the problem. It's the USB-C brick that I have made. I have 2, I think. Like, and yes, we can charge it from the laptop, but like, I've gone out of my way to purchase more USB-C bricks so I can just have a charger next to my bed.
Put one on your couch.
Yeah. Shove one in your couch.
Yeah, I've heard
It is
that's
an
a good
excellent option. Really bad if you end up sleeping on the couch because the dog won't shut up during the night and then you end up sleeping with a GAN charger shoved into your back. Don't recommend that.
On that note, I'm going to rate the iPhone 15's USB port a win for open standards.
Okay, well that brings us to Brodie. What have you got for us, Brodie?
This right here, my friends, is the $2.50 barbecue cheeseburger from Hungry Jack's. Now, what is so great about it, you might ask? Well, it's $2.50 for one. If you can show me a better cheeseburger for $2.50 or less, then I'll eat my hat or my burger. Now, what we have here is a toasted sesame bun with smoky barbecue sauce, cheese, meat thing, a burger patty. That's what it's called, and some mayonnaise. Now, like, I'm not kidding. Like, when I first came across this burger, I was like, $2.50. How could it be that good? It just blew me away. And then what made it more special, I started looking around. And of course, like, you don't get that sort of value at McDonald's anymore. You don't get that sort of value at KFC, you won't find anything for $2.50. It's like inflation just didn't hit Hungry Jack's, and for that, I'm so thankful. $2.50 for a cheeseburger, $2.50 for some medium fries. This isn't an ad. And Hungry Jack's is just back, baby. Like, also, $2.50 for their fries.
You're saying that Hungry Jack's ever left? Hungry Jack's has never been out. You can't be back if you were never gone.
They're not Red Rooster.
I think they had a... Yeah, that's true. I think they had a rough few years there, but I'm not kidding. You guys, you try those fries. I think they've maybe got some of the best fries in the biz these days. And for $2.50, $5, you can get a burger, chips. Yesterday, Fergus was eating peanut butter and cheese on a sandwich. Like, Jesus Christ, man.
A callback that the audience will definitely appreciate and have context for.
They will 100% have context for it. I will force this into the podcast.
Let's give you a little bit of context. We went round robin the other day describing what we'd had for lunch, and everyone had something fairly pedestrian for lunch. Pedestrian, but it sounded pretty tasty until we got to Fergus, who described what sounded as though it was perhaps the result of Soviet era rationing. It was.
Times are tough,
Yeah. Can you walk us through what you willingly chose? I'm guessing willingly chose. No one made you do this, right?
It's just peanut butter and cheese sandwich. What's the go here?
Wink twice if someone made you do it.
Sometimes
This is a safe space.
Sometimes you just want a little snack. You just want a little snack,
Right.
and you don't want to leave the house.
No. It's not that you want a little snack. That's fine, Fergus. It's the snack itself. I feel like we're not getting through to you here.
Yeah, we actually didn't plan to do a podcast. This has all been an elaborate ruse to set up an intervention.
I hate this. Although, so I guess my two contributions to this are that when it comes to burgers, I'm happy to pay more. And I actually had like a really good burger last night, so I'm worried that I might be primed to not love this. But Brodie has sent a burger.
Wait, that's what you sent?
So
I'll be right back.
All right, so I'm going to put, in the spirit of the podcast, I will put this in context between the burger I had last night, the sandwich I had yesterday, and this burger.
Yes, and remember, $2.50.
So excited for you to rank it.
Okay. And I should say, I literally just ate probably 5 slices of pizza. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to do this.
$2.50.
For those of you enjoying this podcast as an audio medium, I hope you really enjoy the sound of rustling paper bags.
Yeah.
Adam's taking his bite here. I'm seeing a little too much discernment in both Adam and Ferg's eyes. I'm starting to get a bit shaky.
No, I'm going to say, for $2.50, they didn't have to put sesame seeds on this, but they did.
Thank you.
Like, that's just magnanimous on their part.
Exactly right. That's it. Do you know how much a cheeseburger costs you at McDonald's these days? $4.70.
Do you know that a hash brown costs like $2.50?
It's
It is insanity.
Inflation has gone wild.
It's potato. I don't understand. Like a hash brown should be 50 cents and that is it.
Mm-hmm. In the context of this being $2.50, this is exceptional. And the other thing, as Hungry Jack's is known for, it's flame grilled. So it's got that going for it. And you can really taste the application of heat.
Was it delivered warm?
No, it might have been, but
Yeah. Hard to say at this point. I think we can't discount the warm factor. I'll say the burger I just took a bite of, a bit lukewarm.
Okay.
So I'll say that. I will say that having had like a pretty nice burger last night with some what do I have on it? I'll bring up a recipe for that in a moment. But I will say that I don't know. It just feels like mostly bun. What's here is mostly bun, a little bit of meat. The sauce is nice, I guess. And if we're gonna play the cost of living angle, truly, $2 was it $2.50? You said?
Yes.
Surely, if you work out the net cost of some bread, some cheese, some peanut butter, I think my sandwich comes out ahead on value on that front.
Man, peanut butter is expensive. What are you talking about?
There's the intangible cost of debasing yourself by consuming it.
As opposed to the cost of this. There's nothing debasing happening with this burger.
I swear, if you try and get that sandwich on the list, Fergus, I'm leaving. I'm not doing this anymore.
You're making this a thing. I don't know. It was certainly a burger, but my general take on burgers is that I feel like they've got to be good enough to be kind of worth the trouble in terms of both the money you put in and also the calories. And I guess like the money side of it is pretty good here. But I just didn't think it was like particularly tasty. It could definitely sustain me.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. And I like to feel joy with my food, and this just seemed a little joyless. For the record, the burger I had last night was at a place called Burgers Anonymous. They have multiple outlets throughout Sydney. They're great. I had the chuklin. It's southern fried chicken, lettuce, tomato, onion, BA sauce, hickory barbecue, and American cheese. It was $14. 6 times the cost of this, I admit. But it was, I will say, $14 well spent.
Yeah, Burgers Anonymous is stellar.
Love Burgers Anonymous.
But once again, like for $2.50, like the fact that you cannot get a McDonald's cheeseburger for that.
What is the price of a cheeseburger now?
Like $4.60.
$4.60. That's criminal.
Turns out the real hamburger was the corporation.
I feel like I'm learning a lot about people's fast food opinions in this podcast in a way I did not expect.
So, Brodie, bring us back to the burger. What do you rate it?
What do I rate this burger? Look, I hear everyone's arguments. Of course, yeah, I would love a Burgers Anonymous burger if I had $14. What I've got is $2.50. I'm going to rate this burger $2.50 out of $2.50. I don't know how this rating system works, but I'm giving it a solid $2.50. Yes, yeah, there we go.
You know what? I'll do you one better. I'd rate it $2.75.
Hot damn!
You're crazy. You're insane. Ludicrous. This is lunacy.
All right. Well, since we all seem to be in a fighting mood, I think that it's time for us to add these to the list. For everyone playing along at home, the list is our definitive list of the best stuff that we review. Our goal is to find out what the best thing is. So every week our plan is to add all of our new reviews onto this list and to rank them in their rightful position based on everything else that we have reviewed.
Yeah, so at the end of it, we should have a definitive ranking of all things, right?
Everything.
That's the goal.
Why else does the website exist, if not for this?
Yes. So, okay, where are we feeling things fall on the list? I think that we can go ahead and put Playdate at number 1 and move on.
Powerful.
But if we're talking about USB-C versus the burger, where do we land on that? That to me is the area of debate, I think.
It goes USB-C, burger, Playdate.
No!
I haven't even tasted the burger.
No!
I haven't tasted the burger, but I will go to bat for Brodie on this.
Thank
Purely
you.
because I trust his judgment.
The host's decision here. I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. All right, end of podcast.
Yeah.
Bye.
Whoa. Hold on. I'm willing to back the USB-C on the wider implications on the state of consumer rights and stuff. I'm willing to back you on that, but you can't put me below the burger. I'm not.
I think that's fair. USB-C, Playdate, burger.
Here's a question. What does Apple sell for under $2.50?
I'm pretty sure you can get a month of the basic iCloud tier.
It's true.
Yeah, there you go.
I really, really should have anticipated
a
deadly serious answer from Alex.
This one's on you. You kind of set the bar a little low.
Okay, the USB-C obviously works a treat. How does it work if it is filled with smoky barbecue sauce? Because I would hazard to say that that's where the burger really shines.
Yeah, we do have IP68 resistance on the iPhone 15 Pro, so I feel like that would handle barbecue sauce for up to 30 minutes.
Okay,
That's a pretty good argument.
that is pretty good because I'm not going to have barbecue sauce on that burger for more than 30 minutes.
That's true.
I mean, you guys just like scoffed it down in like 3?
I don't know if scoffed it down is what I would describe.
Yeah, if you have a burger sitting there for over 30 minutes, it's done.
Yeah. And there's every chance that mine was indeed sitting there for over 30 minutes because it was just left at the door with no indication that it had arrived. So
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm not feeling great. I'm not going to say like that's anything to do with the burger. And hey, even
Brodie,
if I wasn't, $2.50.
Brodie, I went to bat for you, and you're completely undercutting this entire argument.
yeah, I'm not implying that correlation equals causation, but I have to think that these stomach cramps are from the USB-C.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but I think that due to the stomach cramps that seem to be happening, and Brodie absolutely butchering his burger argument at the end there, I have to let it slide. I have to let that slide to number 3.
I'm actually as Ferg has pointed out in the past, I'm really, really keen to get myself a Playdate. In fact, I have the website open now after this discussion. It says I can get one by the end of 2023. I will also back the Playdate, but I am not giving up on this burger so easily. I would on another day in another episode, I will defend this burger again when it comes to it.
I look forward to that.
All right. So the definitive list at the moment goes number 1, USB-C. Number 2...
Specifically, the iPhone 15's USB-C port.
Sorry, the iPhone 15's USB-C port is at number 1. Number 2 is the Playdate. And number 3 is the Burger King $2.50 burger. Or was it the barbecue cheeseburger? Sorry, the
okay.
Burger King $2.50 barbecue cheeseburger.
Hungry Jacks.
All right. Oh my gosh.
Giving this $2.50 burger the respect it deserves.
Yeah, this is why this thing slipped to number 3, pedantry.
All right. Well, you know what, folks? That's our time. We hope you enjoyed the show. And if you want to try your hand at reviewing, why not review us? A 5-star review and rating can make a big difference for a new podcast like this. So if you feel so inclined, we would really appreciate it. If you want more of our content, you can find the list and read our full reviews on Reviews.org/AU or find us at /AU on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Ferg, where can people find you?
I'm over on Threads these days at CVampedOz, CVAMPEDOZ.
Awesome. And Brodie, what is your pipe of choice?
So I'm not on any social media networks. You can find me on Reviews.org/AU. I'm going to use this space instead to say subscribe to our streaming newsletter called The Watch List. If you head over to Reviews.org/AU and search for The Watch List, you'll find it there, where this very talented team is putting out fun emails every week about what to stream in Australia.
Yeah, in case you can tell, we love a list over at Reviews. Alex, where can we keep up with what you're doing?
For some reason, I'm still on Twitter or X or like the trash fire or like whatever we call it these days. I'm at @A_Horosh, which is CHOROS. The C is silent.
And Adam, where can people?
Yeah, so if you want to read some, in all humility, pretty fire tweets from say 2 years ago, you could find me at Adam_SmithXA. But if you actually want to see anything I've done even moderately recently, just head over to Reviews.org/AU.
Always up with the times, the most current of all of us. And of course, if you wish to form a parasocial relationship with me, you can find me at Anula Palooza on all of the things. If there's something that you want us to review, slide into our DMs on any of the platforms. And until next time, we review stuff, and that's the stuff.